This is Orange Nation Overtime with Stephen Fonte and Paulie Sevilla.
Welcome into Orange Nation Overtime, everyone, alongside Mario Sacco. I'm Stephen Fonte, and we're looking back on another Syracuse loss, 77-62, final road game of the regular season for the Orange, and it went like the previous few have gone, including the Wake Forest game. And I said this at the top of the Orange Nation radio show today, Mario, in that it seems like, based on the performance against Wake and against Louisville last night, it just seems like this team is ready for the season to be over.
Yeah, fourth straight loss. You scored 21 points in that first half. You allow a team to hit 14 threes on you, and the coach speak has kind of kicked in of, same old song and dance with this basketball team. And you heard the frustration kind of in Adrian Autry's voice. Once again last night, nothing's getting through to these guys right now, and you see it on the floor. Your senior point guard goes 1 for 5 in 20 minutes of action and scores 2 points. And, you lose another double-digit game on the road at Louisville.
You said point guard. He's actually the shooting guard, and he doesn't shoot.
Yes,
right? Yeah. I mean, that's part of the problem.
Guard would be better.
Yes, I know. I wasn't correcting you. I just meant that part of the issue with JJ right now is that you've got a shooting guard that's afraid to shoot the ball. And, we did talk a little bit about that in the show today. I do think some of it is physical with him. I think that, his hand and shoulder injuries from the last few years, I just don't think he ever fully got over them. I don't know how it's impacting him, but it seems like it is. Just the hits that he has in his shot, the fact that he's uncomfortable shooting the ball from long range, and opponents know that, and they are playing him to drive, and they're daring him to shoot, and he doesn't want to shoot from the outside.
It's like riding the Jackrabbit roller coaster with him this year, because there's been peaks. He goes off and scores 22 points against North Carolina, and then the last 2 games he's got 4 points over these last 2 games. So yeah, it's not the way that obviously he'd want a senior season to go, and I would say that it has to be a big part of that as to why that's not happening. But that's no excuse across the board to continuously give up, allowing teams to shoot. They shot 43% from the field, did Louisville in that first half. 6 threes in that first half. Louisville kind of did what they wanted to, and talk about buying into the system and having that level 5 energy. Well, it hasn't been there over this last month, Steve.
Out-rebounded by 9 in that first half as well. They rebounded better in the second half. Syracuse was +7 on the glass in the second half, -2 for the game, but -9 in that first. It was over by halftime. It was a 19-point game. And I'm in no way blaming just J.J. Starling for this. I mean, there's plenty of blame to go around. I just feel bad for what he's had to go through, because I do think it's physical. I do think some of it's mental now as well. And just he has no confidence, and it's been hard to watch, and you feel bad for him.
And I touched on with you. I said, have you seen a regression with players this year, or have you seen anyone kind of make that jump this year? And I haven't seen it with any of the players across the board. Maybe William Kyle, but that's it.
Yeah. 4 straight losses now for this team, and they've dropped to 15-15 overall. And we did field a number of calls on the show today. We're going to play one of the calls from very early in the show, and then we'll respond to it. Take a listen.
2 things I wanted to hit on. Steve, you were talking about the Pitt game Saturday. I think this is going to come down to, these guys have enough respect for the coach to suck it up for 1 game, to not get him embarrassed in his last home game.
Yeah,
I think they owe it to him to do that. Have a little pride and get him a win in this last game. We all know what's going to happen here in the next week. They're getting paid. I don't think that's a lot to ask for from the coach.
Yeah, that's a good point.
This just has felt like the last month, like an NBA team where they're just going through the motions. They're just getting up shots. The first time we got in a defensive stance last night was with a minute left when we started trapping.
Yeah.
And I would just say, this is a tough stretch, but if you look at the history of college basketball with great programs, aside from Duke and Kansas, really every great program's gone through a tough stretch. Connecticut, North Carolina, Kentucky, UCLA. I think we can get it back with the right coach. We don't know what Syracuse looks like in the modern world with a competent staff.
Yeah.
We haven't had that. I think they're going to make the right hire and put everything into getting this program back. I think they know they have to. This is their one chance to kind of get this back on track.
You know, and I do think that's one of the things with the NIL era, Mario, is that, you know, guys don't necessarily have the same intensity when it comes to, you know, playing for the pride of their school, right? It's about everybody's in a different, or not everybody, a lot of players are going from one school to the next, to the next, to the next. And so, okay, I got my money this year, didn't go the way that I wanted it to. Are they going to dig deep? Are they going to show some fight? And I do wonder going into this last game on Saturday, because I thought several weeks ago, well, there's no way they're going to lose to Pittsburgh. They're going to finish above 500. They've got to win this game on Saturday to make sure that they don't have another losing record. It would be the first time in back-to-back seasons of having a losing record for the first time since the late 1960s. After seeing them go through this 4-game stretch, and these last two in particular, because Duke and Carolina are in a different category, and I get that, but the way they played against Wake and Louisville's good, but they were without their best player. I don't know if Syracuse is going to be able to dig down deep and beat Pittsburgh. This game means something for Pittsburgh. I don't know that it means anything for Syracuse. I'd like to be wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah, and that's tough to say because you want to be like, okay, this is the last time maybe Adrian Autry is stepping foot on that floor.
JJ's last game
as a head coach. But as you mentioned, senior day doesn't mean anything anymore when you have one guy really that's even JJ started at a different school and then came back home. It's not like you have the Eric Demendors. You look at it across the country. Seth Trimble, I think, was the a UNC example that it has kind of been at the school. But other than that, like, you don't see that across the country anywhere.
Right.
And that hurts. And you would hope that they would show some pride, some fight against the Pittsburgh team that, they might have something to play for, but those guys are probably checked out.
Well, they're in the same boat.
Like, do you want to go to the ACC tournament for one game? Like, does it mean that matter? Let's go spend a night in Charlotte. Like,
I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's just I feel like as a competitor,
I understand what you're saying.
You don't want to miss out.
You don't want to miss out on the ACC tournament. We could make a run, but when you're having such poor seasons as what Pitt is having and what Syracuse is having, you kind of just want it to end.
Yeah. Well, one team that's going to play at least multiple games in the postseason is the SU women, right? They will open up tomorrow night against either Wake Forest or Cal. They'll play the winner of that one as the number 7 seed. We had Layla Felia on the Orange Nation radio show today, and we led her off by congratulating her on being named to second team All ACC, and I asked her if it's kind of lived up to the hype for her. She's been at Texas. She's been at Michigan. She came to Syracuse. Has it lived up to what she thought it was going to be like here?
Definitely, but of course, continuing to just work and just strive for better.
Layla, can we talk about your journey a little bit from Michigan to Texas to here and all the adversity that you've had to overcome? Like, how has that shaped you into the player that you are today?
Definitely has a big impact. And of course, when we just go back and just kind of go through when I transferred from Michigan to Texas and from Texas here to Syracuse, I would have never expected all this to play out this way. I would have never expected it, but it's definitely shaped me into a better leader, especially like off the court. I would say I definitely learned a lot and just trying to figure out people and figuring out how to help my teammates the best that I can help them, and even just the staff and understanding their perspectives on everything. So I feel like overall it's like I'm so glad that I had to go through what I went through, just because I feel like I've grown in so many different ways and just understanding people, how to work with different people, and just how to make my team the best out there with what I have. So
Coach Jack has joked, I can use my one good eye and Layla can use hers. Like, how has that relationship been since day one with her? Can you walk me through when she kind of approached you to come to Syracuse and what it's like playing for her?
Yes, it's amazing just having that connection, because I feel like when I was going through my retinal detachment and everything, the biggest thing for me was wanting someone to understand exactly what I was feeling, what I was seeing and everything. So when Coach Jack, when we were talking during the recruiting process and stuff, and she mentioned that she can't see peripherally, like out of her left eye, we definitely connected with that, and it has helped a lot. Even on the court, like she understands and she knows how to help me, and she knows like what to say, and just being able to be coached by her is amazing. She pushes me each and every day, and she helps me with not only just trying to help the team and everything, but even just off the court, trusting myself. And she's been big on just like, you have to give yourself credit too. Like, I understand that you're working towards all this stuff, but it's like being able to take one step forward at a time, and just trusting everything that I've been through and stuff. So she's amazing, and I'm so glad that I've been able to just be like coached by her, especially like with this being my last season and stuff. So going into the real world, I'm glad that she's able to share all the knowledge that she has.
You and your teammates just wrapped up the regular season, 22-7 overall, 12-6 in conference play. You were picked to finish near the bottom of the conference in the preseason poll, and end up in a tie for fifth. Was there a point this year, Layla, where you thought to yourself, we're going to be pretty good? We're going to be all right. Was it early in the year? Was it midway through the year? At what point did you realize this team had the chance to be special?
From the jump, I would say even in the summer, going through the summer workouts, and of course, I have that experience from Michigan and Texas, being around different players. And I would say right from the jump, seeing the chemistry, seeing how close everyone was, and even like on and off the court, people going in to get extra shots. And it's like, to me, that just spoke a lot of volume. Like, you know what, we can do some special things, like with the talent that we have, the chemistry outside of basketball and everything that we have, it's tremendous. Like you don't see a lot of teams like as close as we are. And I feel like with that, along with the fact that during summer workouts, you have people finishing the mile with everyone, like trying to push each other to be better. And it's like, no one's out there alone. And I feel like that's something that was really special to me. And in my mind, I'm just like, as long as we keep this up and we can fight through adversity, we're going to hit adversity, we're going to have losses. As long as we can get our head back on straight and everything, we're going to be perfectly fine. So definitely from the jump.
You talked about your experience at Michigan and playing in big games to Texas. And Coach Jack said she held a closed-door meeting, with the captains last week and thanked you for what the season has been to this date. But she knows there's more out of you. How do you get more out of this team right now as ACC tournament play rolls around and the NCAA tournament play is on the horizon, knowing that you've been in those games before?
Yes, for me, it's just more so a mentality. Like, we've been fighting all season, and it's just staying true to Syracuse women's basketball, staying true to the plan that Coach Jack has for us, and understanding that this is like, we lose, we're done. This is the end. So being able to just understand, like, we can be mentally stronger than these teams out here. We need to approach every game, one, like it's our last, because it definitely is. And then two, just being able to just understand that we got to go out and have each other's backs out there. So I feel like it's really a mentality and just like a sense of pride and stuff. Like, we're not going to sit here and let someone just like take us down without a fight. So.
Layla, you mentioned a moment ago that you've played with some really talented players at Texas and Michigan. I want to ask you about Uche Azoje. Where does she kind of fit into the equation of the talented players that you've played with? What has impressed you the most about her? Named Rookie of the Year in the conference, landed on the first team, all defensive team as well. She's kind of done it all for your squad this year. What stands out to you the most about the player she's become?
That girl right there is a superstar. I've never, seeing her and just how she's developed from the second she got on campus, it's been amazing. And the one thing I love about it is the fact, yes, she works hard. Yes, she's trying to learn. She's trying to grow. She puts in the work and all that stuff. I feel like for me, it's just the fact that I strongly believe she has no clue. Like, named Rookie of the Year, all these Freshman of the Week awards that she has. It's like, the second someone announces it, everyone gets hyped, and she's just like, oh, I'm supposed to get hyped too. Like, she's just full of joy. Like, I just feel like when you have a player that doesn't truly know, it's like she's not thinking about all these awards. She's not going in every single game like, oh, I need to win this. I need to do this. I need to score this. I need to get this many rebounds to keep my stats up. She's not worried about all of that. She's generally just going out there and just fighting and just playing basketball. And I feel like that's a player that everyone needs on their team.
When you look at the season to date, and Steve mentioned your record, when it comes against the top tier teams in the ACC, there's been a struggle. How do you get over that hump, and how has it kind of shaped this team, and how do you want to break that and prove that, we can make a run in the ACC tournament and hopefully get Coach Felicia to get Jack's first win down there?
We definitely will get her first win. But I feel like I'm trying to think, and just talking with Coach KC on the way down here, and we discussed how like some of the bigger like name teams that we've played and stuff just coming up short. We just have to like play Syracuse women's basketball, and I know it's a lot easier said than done, but we cannot get frantic in certain situations. We have to control the pace and stuff, whether that's calling a timeout after the first 5 minutes, regardless of what happens. It's just that we need to just continue to stay true to ourselves and who we are out there. And I feel like with me personally, I need to be better at just being that voice out there and calming everyone down and stuff. So
I know you don't know your first opponent yet, but you get either Wake Forest or Cal. You beat both of them during the regular season. That Cal game was one of the best games we've seen.
I think you're still playing overtimes in that game, Layla.
One of the best games that we've seen in the Dome in quite some time, that 3-overtime thriller against the Bears. I'm not going to ask you if you have a preference, but what would stand out to you, I guess, about a rematch with either of these teams? You've seen them both to this point. I guess what is going to be the secret to success going into tomorrow night, the opener for you guys in postseason play?
We really have to go out there and fight like they beat us by 20. Like, we have to go out there. We have to have that mindset, like, regardless. Because the one thing with that experience of playing in bigger games and stuff like that, it can be an upset. Anyone can show up at any given day. So we need to just understand that we can't take this game lightly. We have to go in and we have to fight all 40 minutes.
That was Layla Filia, landed on the second team. Uche Azoje to the first team, all defensive team, and rookie of the year. No surprise she was rookie of the year. She was like ACC rookie of the week like 7 or 8 times, which is a new program record.
Defensive player of the year as well across the country.
Yeah, she's been awesome. So this Syracuse team has taken care of business against the teams they should beat, and for the most part, they've lost to the teams that are ahead of them in the conference. With that being said, do you think they can punch up in competition and make a little run here? If they win their first game, they're going to have to play Louisville, a team that's above them, a team that, beat them pretty good by getting off to a good start, and then Syracuse made it close, but Louisville ended up winning that game. Do you think this team's capable of beating someone they're not supposed to beat here in the postseason?
If it was anyone other than Louisville, I would say yes.
Tough matchup. Well, the NCAA tournament. Like, let's say they go, they're in an 8-9 game, or the problem with that is then they get the 1 seed.
Yeah, because they're going to be thrown into that Storrs region.
Probably,
NCAA does it all the time, and that's tough to say. And this is a very good basketball team. They are fun to watch. Uche Azoje, if you haven't seen her, she's a rising star, and it's going to be phenomenal by the time. And hopefully, SU can keep her here for all 4 years. And the balance they have with a Layla and a Dominique Darius and a Sophie Burrows, they have great balance. But the problem is, Steve, when they're playing those teams, one of those players that I just mentioned tends to not show up.
Right.
And Layla has put it on herself. You heard in the interview, she's put it on herself that she has to be better. She has to be better in those games. She has the experience playing at a Michigan, going to an NCAA quarterfinal game at Michigan, but they just haven't been able to put it together. And you would hope that against a Louisville that you're not going to go down and be down by 15, 16 at the end of the first quarter like they have been.
Felicia Leggett-Jack, of course, has never won an ACC tournament game. We talked about that in the interview, and Layla said, she's going to get one, at least this one, this time around. Let's hope she's right. Again, they'll get the winner of either Wake Forest or Cal. Should they win that game, they would move on to face Louisville in the quarterfinal round. So with that, we are out of time. For Mario, I'm Steve. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Paulie's back tomorrow. We will talk to you again tomorrow on Orange Nation Overtime. Take care.
Download the WSYR Plus app on your TV to stream News Channel 9 for free. Just go to your smart TV, search WSYR Plus in the App Store, and download to start streaming today.